it is important that the seed falls in the right place. Similarly, Sun Ketu conjunction is a beautiful conjunction. It's a beautiful seed, but it should fall in the right place, meaning in the right chart. The chart should belong to an evolved soul, to a spiritual person. Only then this Sun Ketu conjunction can fructify in the most beautiful way. Always remember, emptiness, shunyata is what spirituality is all about. Ketu brings this shunyata, but to reach to this shunyata, to reach to this being a nobody, you have to go through certain sufferings in life. The fire of suffering becomes the light of consciousness. And so, this conjunction is beautiful for a spiritual person. However, if the person is a very ordinary person, he has no spiritual touch, he is purely bhogi, purely materialistic, then he will suffer. That suffering is also because of his ignorance. Otherwise, that suffering can become a blessing in disguise. Sun Ketu conjunction has given birth to many spiritual beings. One of the great spiritual persona is the Dalai Lama. Similarly, there are many more. In this podcast, I will be sharing the true essence of Sun Ketu conjunction. Always remember, whenever Ketu conjuncts with a certain planet, it spiritualizes the planet. Ketu Moon conjunction is a highly spiritualized conjunction. If the person's chart is of higher quality, is of higher consciousness, then such a person can benefit from a Moon Ketu conjunction. Similarly, if the chart of this person having Sun Ketu conjunction is of higher dimensions, higher consciousness, then such a person can truly expand his consciousness, can truly progress on the spiritual path. So it all depends on which place the seed has fallen. And that itself is a destiny. That itself is based on your karma of last many births. So let's begin with this podcast on Sun Ketu conjunction. Ketu is Sri Ganesha, and so Sun Ketu is simply an indication from Lord Ganesha to drop your ego and to realize yourself. But this is possible for a man of awareness. For a meditative man, this conjunction is a blessing in disguise. Why I use the word disguise? Because this conjunction takes a man through certain sufferings, leading finally to the light of consciousness. The Russian writer Fyodor Dostoevsky says, suffering is the sole origin of consciousness. Suffering has a noble purpose, and that is the evolution of consciousness and the burning up of ego. So this conjunction can raise a man to higher level of consciousness. Yes, but for that he has to die first, just to reborn. Nicodemus was a great scholar of Jerusalem. He was the wealthiest man of the town. He was 70 years old, and he would often hear about this young man called Jesus. Many people were cured by this strange man who would just move around the town. An intense curiosity arose within him. But how can he go and meet Jesus? What will the people of the town say? That a great scholar is going to seek truth from a carpenter's son? That would not look good. And so, on a dark night, when the whole town had gone asleep, Nicodemus sets out to meet Jesus. He finds Jesus sitting under a tree, deeply absorbed in meditation. Nicodemus comes and bows before Jesus. Jesus says, "Why have you come? What is it that you want from me?" And Nicodemus says, "I have come to seek truth, to find from you on how to seek God, how to experience God." And Jesus says, "Nicodemus, even to meet me you have chosen a dark night. How would you face God? To experience God, you have to reborn." Nicodemus says, "What does reborn means?" And Jesus says, "You have to drop all your ego. You have to drop all your learning. You have to drop your preconceived notions. You have to let go all that you have accumulated. You have to reborn. Your first birth is physical. Your second birth is spiritual. To reborn means the death of your material world and the birth of your spiritual world." Of course, the transition is not easy, and so for an evolved soul, the Sun Ketu Conjunction becomes a blessing. It has the strength to transform Nicodemus into Saint Nicodemus. It has the strength to transform the thief Ratnakar into Saint Valmiki. It has the strength to transform the arrogant Saul into Saint Paul. You see, it is not at all a bad conjunction. It can lead an evolved soul to many wonderful spiritual experiences, wonderful meditative experiences. But problems come to a soul that is still not evolved and is operating on the base level. Here it leads to miseries, insults, setbacks, and the person gets frustrated often. So, to experience the positive results of this divine conjunction, one has to be more meditative, more introspective, and then there is a song to it. So, understand the depth of this placement, my fellows. It turns positive based on your receptive strength. One of the best example of Sun Ketu Conjunction is the 14th Dalai Lama. In the chart of Dalai Lama, the Sun is in conjunction with Ketu along with Mercury. Sun Mercury Ketu is in the sign of Gemini. So Sun Ketu has that potential of being spiritual and growing on the path of spirituality. Whenever you have Sun Ketu conjunction, you should remember to set your expectations not at a very high level. Keep your expectations at a very basic level. Always remember, It is expectation that keeps your mind continuously spinning thoughts. It is expectation that keeps you tense. It is expectation when not fulfilled that makes you feel frustrated, miserable. Drop expectation and meditation will flower. But it can flower only when you are not expecting. So you see, this conjunction is simply an indication to set your expectation regarding marriage or relationship or career to a certain limit. If you know that the water supply is going to be for a few hours only, then you don't make a face or you don't suffer. You know you are alerted, and so you are now mentally ready, you are now mentally prepared. And so, this sharing is also simply to alert you. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru.